Okay. There are 6 people. Now 7 people. Is anyone else going to join? You can share the link in your groups if possible. Oh yeah, once can you repeat? Okay. I was saying that if anyone is going to join, if if they have forgotten, please share the link in the group so that they can join. I will be starting right now. Okay. So hello everyone. This is the third session for Flutter Festival, and in this session, we will be building an API app, um, and what will it be? It will be an app which will show the weather of a particular city. Uh, it can be the city you live in, or it can be any other city. So, how we will do it, I'll just explain it to you right now. So first thing we need to know is what are APIs. We will be using a weather API to build this weather app. So this is a short intro to APIs. So API is a application programming interface. It is a software interface that allows two applications to interact with each other without any user intervention. API is defined as a code that helps two different softwares to communicate and exchange data with each other. So this is just a kind of definition of what it does. But here is a video which will explain it in a much better way. So 1 second, right? I have to share my screen. A tab, sorry. Share a window, a tab, Flutter, or else the voice won't come. So hopefully you are able to view the tab. I need to mute myself.
Connectivity is an amazing thing. By now, we're all used to the instant connectivity that puts the world at our fingertips. From desktops or devices, we can purchase, post, pin, and pick anything, anywhere. We are connected to the world and each other like never before. But how does it happen? How does data get from here to there? How do different devices and applications connect to each other to allow us to place an order, make a reservation, or book a flight with just a few taps or clicks? The unsung hero of our connected world is the Application Programming Interface, or API. It's the engine under the hood and is behind the scenes that we take from it. But it's what makes possible all the interactivity we've come to expect and rely upon. But exactly what is an API? It's a question everyone asks. Okay, not really, but we're glad you did. The textbook definition goes something like this. In computer programming, an application programming interface API is a set of routines, protocols, and tools. To speak plainly, an API is the messenger that takes requests and tells the system what you want to do, and then returns the response back to you. To give you a familiar example, think of an API as a restaurant. Imagine you're sitting at the table with a menu of choices to order from, and the kitchen is the part of the system which will prepare your order. What's missing is the critical link to communicate your order to the kitchen and deliver your food back to your table. That's where the waiter or API. The waiter is the messenger that takes your request or order and tells the system, in this case, the kitchen, what to do, and then delivers the response back to you, in this case, food. Now that we've whetted your appetite, let's apply this to a real API example. You are probably familiar with the process of searching for airline flights online. Just like at a restaurant, you have a menu of options.
Oh, sorry, I just by mistakenly.
Let's apply this to a real API example. You are probably familiar with the process of searching for airline flights online. Just like at a restaurant, you have a menu of options to choose from, a drop-down menu. You choose a departure city, date, a return city, and date, cabin class, and other variables. In order to book your flight, you interact with the airline's website to access the airline's database to see if any seats are available on those dates and what the cost might be based on certain variables. But what if you're not using the airline's website, which is direct access to information? What if you were using an online travel service that aggregates information from many different airlines? The travel service interacts with the airline's API. The API is an interface that, like your helpful waiter, can be asked by that online travel service to get information from the airline system over the internet to book seats, choose meal preferences, or baggage options. It also then takes the airline's response to your request and delivers it right back to the online travel service, which then shows it to you. So now you can see that it's APIs that make it possible for us all to use travel sites. The same goes for all interactions between applications, data, and devices. They all have APIs that allow computers to operate them, and that's what ultimately creates connectivity. So whenever you think of an API, just think of it as your waiter running back and forth between applications, databases, and devices to deliver data and create the connectivity that puts the world at our fingertips. And whenever you think of creating an API, think MuleSoft.
So that was a simple explanation of what APIs are. So it's like a waiter. If there is some kind of software like Google Maps, and you want to interact with Google Maps through some of your software, you will use an API or any other thing like flight, a booking system, ticket booking system. You need to know which flights are coming. That software is with the airports, and to access them from an app or something, there will be uh, a, another software called an API, which will do the communication part between the two softwares. That's it. It's basically a waiter taking your order and giving you your food or what you want, basically. So next, sorry. So there are some examples for APIs are that there's this Google Maps API. If you have used Uber, Ola, you know that they have Google Maps in their apps, right? So how do they access all those data and show all those cars on the maps, all those taxis? They are using the Google Maps API. They are, and it's the it's not like they coded the whole Google Maps by themselves again. They are just calling this API, and Google Maps is a software by Google. It will just, you know, take their order or their what they want. If they want some taxi, they are trying to find some cars. Then they have written some code to locate the cars on the maps. And so Google Maps will provide its functionality and show the routes, the shortest distance between you and the cars or something. There is this YouTube API. If you have used some kind of Discord bot like Rhythm, you know that it can play music from any video on YouTube, right? So you can search any YouTube video channel or playlist from code directly via the YouTube API. It will give you the videos which you request. Um, Probably the top of the video on the top of your search. When you search whatever you search, it will return that. There is also Discord and Twitter APIs for making bots. So you know there are Discord bots and Twitter bots, and how they are basically code which are interacting with the social media app through an API. So API will tell them if there is some kind of post or somebody has messaged, and you can read those messages. You can do all sorts of things that bots do if you have used a bot. There is also a payments API. When you pay your fees, there is a portal, right? Bank, you can select your banks, SBI or anything. You can also select there is also UPI these days. When you use GPay or Paytm, it is performing payments through the UPI API, which which is owned by the government. So, and the API is just communicating with the software. Okay. And flight tracking example was also mentioned in the video. If you want to book any ticket, you need to have the information of the flights. And those information is in a database with some airports or airports, I guess. So to get to know which flights are going to come, you would ask the API. What is the full form? I forgot. API's full form is Application Programming Interface. Okay. Um, I forgot what is written in the previous slide. I'll show you the slide. So API is Application Programming Interface. It is basically an interface which is communicating between two independent softwares. Okay. One software may be your app. In this case, our app will be one software, and the weather, the software which collects all the weather data, will be the other one. I have shared the slides with you. You can download them from the group. And I have also linked this video in Hindi by Code with Harry, if you prefer Hindi. And I won't play it right now because of you can do that by yourself. Um, if you have any other doubts, you can put it in the chats. So yeah, there is also this NASA API which will show you the latest photos collected by all the satellites and rovers it has. It's really cool. And so Reddit also has their own API. If you don't know what Reddit is, it's another kind of social media. So today we will use an API called a service called Open Weather Map. So I will share you the link to their website. Copy link address. So here's the link. So if you open that website, they it it will show you the home page, which will tell you about them and their products. So Weather Map has a set of open source APIs. It has many kinds of APIs, and some of them are free, completely free to use, such as the current weather data API that I've shown in this picture. So it will access current weather data for any location, including over 200,000 cities. So most if you live in a well-known city, then most probably your city's data would be present. We collect and process weather data from different sources such as global and local weather models, satellites, radars, and vast network of weather stations. So all this infrastructure is with them only, and all the data is collected by this Open Weather Maps company. Okay, and they are you can get this data through their API. It is just a is just communicating with their databases. So what is mentioned, JSON, XML, HTML formats, is how will you read the data? It will be a JSON file which will be sent to you uh, through a web link, web URL. So yeah, so current weather data API is included in the free as well as paid subscriptions. So it is free to use, and we will be using this tool. It is also the second most used API in the whole world as of 2022. So there are many APIs, and it is the more popular your API is, more people use it, the more money you can earn. So how does an API earn money is basically each request. If it's a paid subscription, you pay monthly or yearly. If they pay for each request or each call, they will add certain amount for each time you call the API. Like if you had to call the waiter each time and pay for it, that would be something similar, an analogy for what another business model an API can have. So, so the built-in API request by sitting. So what? How will we call this API? How will we get this data? We will use this kind of link basically. So to get the data, we'll use this kind of link. HTTPS, you can see api.openweathermap.org/data 2.5 weather. And you can see after this question mark comes our variables. These are query parameters. This queue will, in this queue equal to, we have to pass the city name. But when I tested this before, the city name does not work properly, so we will pass the city ID instead. Yeah, we will pass the city ID instead. And in the API ID, you have to do one thing before using their API is to register on their website. It is completely free and they will give you an API key. So, so you can see um, I have made a change that instead of city name, I have mentioned city ID. And when this is basically the URL you get when um, providing a city ID and a API key. In this case, I put my own API key and the city ID for Mumbai. So how do you get this city ID? So there is this web page called Open. I will just open this in a new. I will copy this and provide it to you right now. You can. What is Reddit? What Reddit provides in its social media? Okay, so Reddit is basic. Reddit has many communities of different topics, and people can chat and share media like pictures or anything. And it's kind of like Twitter, but it's a lot different also in terms of it has upwards, downwards, and I don't use Reddit that much, so I'm not sure about it completely. Um, you can explore it later because I don't have much experience using Reddit. But here you can just go to this link, openweathermap.org/find. Open this in a separate tab and see. I would just stop presenting my tab and I would present my whole screen again so I can switch tabs and you can view it. Okay. So now you can view my whole screen. So when I open this link, you can see weather in your city, London, UK. So I will enter a city over here. I used to live in Mumbai. Currently, I'm in hostel in Goa. So when I enter Mumbai, it provides me this option, Mumbai, India. And let me also try Goa. So there's Goa in India. There's Goa in some other country. I didn't know this, but let's ignore that. Let's ignore that and just see Goa in India. And it's there are little bit. It's cloudy over here, and there's light air, and the average temperature is around 28 degrees Celsius. So I was mentioning, how do you get the city ID? The city ID is here. If you look at your URL for Goa, the city ID is this. I will just share this in the chat right now. Goa. You can search your own city and just keep track of the copy paste the city ID in some place. Probably the chats. You can share it in the chats if you want. Because we will be using it in the URL. Another thing you need to do is you need to open uh, the Open Weather Map website. Open this in a new tab and you have to register. So I would ask you all to register right now. I have already registered. And after registering, you have to go to My API Keys and you have to copy this default key given here and put it in the URL to make the API call. So this is my personal key. I won't be sharing this with you because you can, we don't share keys with other people. It is to be stored with you personally and it should not be shown but I would change this key after today's session so that
I don't understand about what the website about keys. Can you repeat?
can you repeat your question?
What you have recently said about keys? I'm not able to follow because I was signing up.
Yeah, yeah. Did you complete the signing up process?
Yeah, I'm still in going process, but please tell me.
Yeah, yeah. You complete, everyone just completes your sign up process and just log in. After that, what you will do, you just click your name. Probably my name is Anish something, so it's same ANIS dot dot dot, and go to this my API keys option. And here you will be shown your key, your API key. Mine is this long string of numbers and alphabets. What you need this key to get the data from the Open Weather Map API. Okay. Without this, you can't get the data. So please, I'll just wait for 5 minutes. If you have any issues, it would be interesting. Just register right now. It is free and it is safe. It is the second most used API in the world. It is really safe. If you have any doubts, unmute or put it in the chat box.
I have to tick all the three boxes. What it is like system news, product news, corporate news.
No, you don't need to take any news related options. That is news that will be shared on your mail. If you're interested in getting mail from them, then you can tick. But I would not suggest you to accept any of those options. They are completely optional. Someone
They
has,
are asking that how and where you will they are asking about company and purpose.
yeah, just put IIT Goa or something. Purpose, just make weather app. You can write weather application.
They you can also cancel it.
Yeah, if it's optional, then don't mention. So I had already registered, or else I would have shown you. So if you have done it, raise your hand or something so I can know who all have completed. So yes, two people are done. Guys, you need this API key. Um, so those,
भैया इंस्टेंट
huh,
what है
can you repeat? I couldn't hear you.
so I have completed the registration no what how to copy API
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll tell you. You just drag the. Uh, you just take your cursor and you have to drag it till the end, and Control C. Or you can do right click and copy, and keep it with you. You don't need to copy right now. I will tell you what to do. You, I will tell you what to do right now. So first thing you do, you open up a new tab in your browser. Everyone who has registered, who have their API keys ready, who have their city ID ready. Some city IDs are mentioned in the chat box. Just open up a new browser. What I'll do, you take this API call template. Oh, sorry, huh? 1 second. I'll just give you the API call template I have here. This is not a URL right now. It is just a template. Okay. So in those curly bracket city ID, you just remove those and put your city ID, and curly bracket API key, you remove that and put your API key. I'll show you. I'll show you guys right now. So I control V. Now this URL is here. Now first thing I need my city ID. So I wanted Mumbai city. Suppose I want Mumbai city. So Mumbai city ID is this thing. Okay. I'll paste it in the chat box. Okay. For those who live in Mumbai or are interested in knowing the weather of Mumbai city. And then this whole curly bracket city ID, I'll do backspace and I'll paste the city ID instead. Okay. And the next thing I have to do is I'll go to my API key where my API key is, and I'll copy the whole API key. Make sure you have copied the whole thing. And in this brackets API key, I would delete this backspace and I would put Control V and paste. Now my URL is complete. I'll press enter. Okay, so there is some issue. It's saying that city not found. It was giving me this issue earlier also, but I have made my, I've checked and made the API ID, the whole URL right here. So let me just see the working URL. Let me just copy these last two parameters. I think my key, I didn't copy the key correctly. Mumbai city ID is correct. Okay, so there is one mistake that I have done. Instead of Q, it should be ID. I'm sorry, guys. I will update the URL that I gave to you. Now you can see I'm getting this dictionary of data. This is being provided to me by the Open Weather Map API. You can see the coordinates, the longitude, latitude, the weather, the haze description says haze. So there's some kind of cloudy, smoky environment in Mumbai. The temperature is 301 degrees Kelvin. It is in Kelvin, okay? And maximum temperature was this, pressure is this, humidity is this. So this is the data that the API has provided. I will share you the updated template. Okay, I'm sorry, I just made a mistake.
Yeah.
Haha.
It is saying invalid API key.
Invalid API key. Did you copy your whole API key? Sorry, so copy the new template. I've just copy pasted in the chat box. Don't use the previous one. And try again. Tell me if you have any issues. You should get something like this. Invalid API key was coming when instead of ID, it was Q, or it is city not found. Sorry. Or I think you can in case of Q, you can directly put Mumbai. If you're using Q, you mention the city name, which is, I guess, more convenient. And Goa, you just mention Goa. Please copy your key correctly till the end. Make sure you have copied it till the end, and just raise your hand if you're able to see the data um, when you from the link. Okay. If anyone has any doubts, just unmute, tell me, because this is just one step. This is one step we will use, and it should be correct.
It is saying invalid API.
Okay. So
If you don't mind, can I say something? That when I have put the updated one, the website in the chat box,
Yes.
then it is not showing me a dictionary. It is showing like a series of some website like the Stack Overflow and C Sharp Corner.com, like this thing is thing that is shown to.
Is that so? Let me check, huh? I will share my own API key URL with you guys on WhatsApp. Maybe Google Meet is doing something. I will share it on Meet and WhatsApp. Check and tell me if this is working. I use Brave browser personally. Let me also try it on Chrome. I will check it on Chrome if because most people use Chrome. So on Chrome it is working fine. Tell me if you can see my own URL. If you can see the data, the dictionary data.
Yes, yes.
It is working.
Right.
Okay, it is working, right? Now just switch the API keys, okay? After equal to, everything should be your own API key. Copy paste your own API key. And one thing, yeah, just do that and try. You can, in this case, Q equals to Goa. You can enter your city name, like Goa, Mumbai, Delhi, or something. Or you can directly use the city ID by instead of Q putting ID parameter.
I am doing a mistake that I have put the remain put the curly braces like the.
Don't put curly braces, huh? Don't put curly braces. Remove the curly braces. It should work. It should work on. I've tried it on all the browsers. It just try everyone and raise your hand if you're completed this. If you're able to see the data with your own API key. API key you will get.
Yes,
Okay. So one person is done. Others, I'll wait for you. So Soham is done. I'll wait for like 2, 3 more people. Ananya is done. Others is done. So is there anyone else trying? So just tell me if you're trying right now or else I can continue.
I am trying.
Okay, so yes, if you have doubts, just tell me. So there are so you can either use Q equal to the city name or use ID equal to the city ID, and I've told you how to get the city ID. But I'll share the URL again. So this URL, you can search your own city, and in the URL you'll get for your city, there would be the city ID.
Way to do my can I share my screen to show that what I am getting?
Sure, I will stop presenting. Please share your screen.
Is it, visible?
Yeah, your screen is visible.
This is I am as like this and
Okay.
some ID.
And
Here you can see it.
so I would suggest to not put it in this, but in your above the bar above. Go back to your previous tab. The yeah.
Means what you are saying.
Can you try copy pasting it again? Like show me
I
what.
am okay.
Yeah,
I will
just show me what you're doing.
okay. So first I copy this, and I go here and I will again paste it.
Wait. You have removed the I. You have after ID. Do Control Z. Do Control Z.
Oh, it was not what I have to do again. Right?
Yeah. You remove the city part. Yeah, remove those curly bracket as well. The curly bracket should not be there. Yes. And yeah, copy this key.
And now I'm touching it.
1 second. Just do Control A.
Control.
Copy the whole URL once so that you don't have to write it again. Control A and Control C. Yeah, just do Control C.
Yeah, I have done.
Okay, now search. Maybe this is the search engine. Don't do it here. Do it above the https bing.com part. Do it here. The URL where the black box, right?
Okay.
Yeah, try.
So you are saying here.
Yeah. Try it here. I did it here only. Just Control V. It's gone to some font. Control V. Yes. Enter.
Okay.
Nice. It is working. Now I'll present my own screen. You can stop presenting. So guys, like that is how we get the data, and it is not actually a dictionary. It looks like one, but it is a dictionary in a JSON file. What is being shown to you is a JSON file. JSON stands for JavaScript object notation. So it's a JavaScript object basically. So most websites have JavaScript, right? So APIs are going to share their information in form of JSON files or other files like XML or something. Let me just go back to the slides. So most of you are ready with your URL. I would suggest to keep your URLs with you, copy paste them somewhere. We will use them in our code later. So this is basically the part in which I told you to how to get your city ID. Basically, I searched Mumbai and it showed me this URL, and this number is my city ID. So how do we get the API data from the link into Flutter? We got the link, the HTTPS link, but we need to use it in Flutter, right? So there is this library HTTPS, which will help us, you know, do the HTTPS request and get the data directly. The JSON file, the JSON object, we'll get it. So I will just copy this, share you the link. You can view it later. It's just the documentation for the library, HTTPS. And go back. This will allow us to get the contents from the link in the JSON in JSON format. To for so JSON, we can't read the JSON file directly. So there is another library which is already present in Flutter in Dart. It's called dart.convert. We'll call that to convert the JSON object to some kind of a dictionary. And we can easily call the data, we can easily get the data from the dictionaries. Okay. So after getting the data, we will update the variables we are interested in a set state function. So basically Flutter, told in the previous session, there are two kinds of uh, there's this stateless widgets and stateful widgets, right? So if your app is dynamic, it changes with time. So then you have to make a stateful widget app, and how it will update the variables is with some set state function. So every time you have to make a change to the app, you have to mention it in set state. If you're changing some variables data, it would be in the set state function. That I will show you later and while we code. The API will be called independently. So one thing I need to tell you is that API will be called automatically. We won't be using any functions to call. We won't be calling it manually. And how will it be called automatically? Every time an event is triggered from on their software, suppose uh, they collect what open weather API does basically. Every minute they will send the data. Every minute they will check the data and send it, and it will be updated. So every minute we will get the updated data, and the rest of the time we don't need to call the function, right? Nothing is going to be changed. But how do we know that it has sent the data, right? How do we call a function? We write a name of the function. Normally, how do you call? We just write name of the function, round brackets, and the parameters. But we don't exactly know when the data is ready for the next moment, and how if we need to call it, right? So we won't hard code it. We'll use something called asynchronous programming. And I won't go into much depth, but there is a slide after this. So, so basically how we get data from APIs is with the use of async await. So I have sourced this article. Hopefully I can copy the URL for this article. This will tell you how to use APIs. And I have taken a photo of the code part which we will write to get the data. So you can see this is a function get data. It is returning some string data type, but you can see there is some future. There's something called future. What that means? It means that the function will return this in the future. It is for waiting for the API to give us the data every minute, and in the future it will return the string. And async, after get data, you can see async just means that we have to wait for the API every time it updates the data. Okay, so you can see we and what we are doing inside the function. Like, I won't go into too much detail, and you don't need to be, oh, what did I do right now? So you don't need to be confused right now, because you'll just copy most of the part of this function, and what we are interested is the first three lines and the set state part at least. This is the thing which is common mostly. So this function await http.get. So we call the HTTP library. Now there's something called a get request. Get request will just fetch the data from the API. And this URI.encode full, this is basically the URL which we want to pass. In our case, the URL which we were getting the dictionary from, we will just pass it in here. Header is an optional thing. You don't need to mention it in my case today. We won't be using any headers or something. And URI encode full, Instead of this, I just do something else. Direct, we'll just put the direct URL. So set state, as I mentioned, in a dynamic app, all the data variables have to be which have to be updated need to be mentioned here. All the updation happens in the set state function. A return success is another optional thing. So there is also a video about API calling. I have shared the slides with you on the group. You can watch it later for better understanding. We will be building the UI for the app. So most last time what happened is I was just building the UI part and I didn't get to explain the widgets because it will take a lot of time. And to be honest, it's already 8:51. So instead of explaining these widgets, I would answer any doubts. But I've also linked the documentation of all the widgets we are going to use in today's session um, in the slides. You can open up the slides, you can check it independently, read the documentation. I'll just code side by side. If you want me to clear any doubt, I can come back to this slide and open up the documentation and if I'm not sure about something and help clear your doubt at least. So now it's time to code our app. I would request you guys to use Android Studio if you have Android Studio. I'm the only thing that is you can also use Dartpad if dartpad.dev. Those who have not installed Android Studio yet. But the issue you will face that font awesome library I have used in today's app that will not work. Font awesome does not work on Dartpad, so you have to ignore the font awesome things. I would remind you guys. I think it should work if you ignore the font awesome things. What is font awesome? It's a library which has different fonts, icons, emojis, all those kinds of things. It's just a design thing. So all the utility of our app will not be affected. So another thing I've done, I have uploaded a template to my GitHub so that you can directly start off with a template and all those header files, you don't need to bother with them. So I'll just paste it here. So the first thing you do right now is open up Android Studio. So I think I'm presenting my screen. So you can see I have Android Studio over here. And what you do is you do a new Flutter project, name your project something called weather app or weather app, uh, anything you want, and just go to this project. Make sure you've selected project. Sometimes it opens in Android for in my case, but go to project and your name of your folder would be like this. Open it up, go to this library folder, blue in color, main.dart, open it up, and here what you will do is basically you go to this GitHub link. In my case, I've already opened it. So go to my GitHub link. It would be this kind of, oh, it's not this exactly. Let me open it again myself. So as you can see, it would be this kind of code. You just copy this code, copy raw contents, and just remove all the code in this main.dart file and just paste whatever code I mentioned. Okay, do that guys and I'll wait for you. If you are done, raise your hands so that I can know. If you have any doubts, like there will be some errors. I am uncomfortable to use GitHub. Don't worry, you just go to this link. You don't need to upload anything to GitHub. Just click this link I've shared in this chat box. This is my own GitHub. And what you have to do is just scroll down. You can visibly see the code, and you just need to copy the code from this GitHub link I have shown. It's just a medium for me to share code with you. It's just a template, okay? It's not the complete app. It's a template which, so that we don't have to waste a lot of time explaining header files and other stuff. If you have done, please raise your hand so I can know. Tell me what you are, if you have any errors, because there will be errors because we have not included the libraries in pubspec.yaml file. Okay. If you have not, if you are not, yeah, if if you have any doubts, unmute, tell me. I'll I'll share you the code through WhatsApp, the template, if you're not able to copy it from GitHub. GitHub is much easier to copy, it's just one button click. And those using Dartpad, let me just go to Dartpad. Just go here and paste the code over here. And you probably would need to remove this, the code part which says import package font awesome. Just remove this. This will give you an error. If you don't use font awesome, I'm positive that the app should work, but I have not tested it yet, so I'm not completely sure.
Bhaiya,
Huh?
once can you share the link for GitHub?
Yeah, I'll share the link of it. Share it on WhatsApp as well, and then I'll share it over here as well. So this is the GitHub link. Just it's the same link I shared. It is the template for today's app. Once you're done, raise your hands. So it's we are reaching the 1 hour mark, and we have to. Yes.
For font awesome, which package should be used? Like I'm getting many options like one is font underscore awesome, then font underscore awesome underscore Flutter, and so on. So which one should I use? The first one is font awesome.
So the thing I've already imported, written the import part for font awesome. The thing you have to include in PubSpec,
File, right? You
yeah,
have to import it in the YAML file.
yeah, I'll share it right now. I was waiting for you guys. Now I'll share the font awesome part, which has to be included. Make sure the indentation is right. I have just, yeah. So guys, one thing what Soam was mentioning is that you have to include the libraries in your pubspec.yaml file. If you don't know where it is, open project. In this test folder, you can see test folder. No, I don't think it's in the test. It's outside the folders. It's over here, pubspec.yaml. Open this up, and you just need to scroll down to this dependencies part. And what you do, you write this HTTPS. I've shared it in this, shared it in the chats. You copy this HTTPS and font awesome part. Okay, let me copy it again. Make sure the indentation is correct. There should be one tab before that. This is the latest version of HTTPS library, basically. And the latest version of font awesome is 10.0.0. We'll be using that. Font awesome Flutter. Yeah. Once you're done, raise your hands. Um, Once you're done, make sure that you go back to the main file. There will be some message on top saying that pubspec.yaml has been updated, get dependencies. So do get dependencies and just wait for it till it's done. Okay, it should return an exit code 0. That means there were no errors. So once that is, I'll wait for other people. Okay, so 2 people are done. I'll wait for like 1 or 2 more if possible. We just have to copy paste this code. Others is done. Is there anyone trying? Suyash, are you trying right now?
I have not installed the
Okay, okay, no problem. You can try it on Dartpad. I will tell you what to do. So you just copy it on Dartpad. So I'm copying this code. Suppose I copied it from GitHub, it's the same code. And it will show me unsupported imports, Flutter, font awesome. Okay, just remove font awesome. Now it should not give me any errors. Okay, just do this. Hopefully the app will work on Dartpad, but I I have not tested it, so I'm not sure. But you can code side by side nonetheless. So I'll continue with the coding part. So let's just get a device ready. Um, in my case, I have to refresh. If you have any device, select that. If you don't have a device, just select your browser. So I have this Pixel 2. You can see this phone right here, the Google Pixel 2 is open, and I will try running my app, see what it shows. So it will take some time.
we have copied your code on Dart thread, but something you are saying to update.
So what is happening?
Means you are saying that you have to proper indentation along with your
Yeah. So in what happens in Dartpad, there is no pubspec.yaml, and so you don't need to do that part. You just write import the package, and I think it would just import it directly. So warning, I'm getting some warning. Should be ready any moment. Let me just check if it's running actually. Yeah, it's taking some time. Yeah, it's saying unsupported imports because font awesome is you have to remove that import. The second import, font awesome, just delete that. Don't use font awesome. If you're doing it on Dartpad, it's just a design library. It should not affect the utility of the app. Okay. Wait, this is how the app will look. This is not the current code. Okay. This is the current code. Okay. It's a blank screen currently. This is the app which is run. It is basically a blank screen. We will build the UI right now. So first thing you do is maybe it's still doing something stuff or let it be. Okay. So I have this Zoom recording thing. I'll just shift this somewhere. So guys, in this body column, there is this children property, and that there is an array of widgets. So just go over here and we'll start coding. Okay. Oh, 1 second. Huh? Just give me a moment. I'll just. Yeah, I have to. I had something. Okay.
Dartpad showing many errors.
I am. I'm.
Almost in every line.
No, no. These are warnings. The blue things are not errors. If you're getting anything in red, are you getting red color stuff? So in my case, I have 9 issues but no errors. Okay. If you want me, I'll just share this on WhatsApp. Copy paste this. I, you should not have any issue. So guys, we'll just start building our app. So first thing in this widget list, we'll define a container widget. So container to container, and we'll we'll add what is a container. A container is just basically a box. Just imagine a box. It has some height, width, some stuff. So I'll just mention the sorry mention a height property, and I will give it a height of 1/3 of the mobile screen. Now I need to know the dimensions of the mobile screen for that. For that, I will use this media query dot of bracket context dot size dot height, and we need this will basically give us the height of my mobile screen, but I want this box to be 1/3 of the height from the top, so I'll divide it by 3. So now I'll have another property called not weight, sorry, width property, which I'll do the same thing. I'll get the width of my mobile screen by media query of context size dot width, and I need the whole width, so I won't divide anything. So this will create a box which has which covers 1/3 of the mobile screen from the top. Okay. So I want this. If you want to view this box, it would be white by default. So I'll just add color to it by mentioning the color property and the colors widget colors dot red. So you can give it any color, red, blue, green, or should be present by default. I'll just use red right now. And after this, it's basically a box. We need more content uh, inside. So we'll mention a child widget, child property, which will contain a widget column. I need a column inside. Column basically will stack widgets on top of each other in the form of a column. So anything I mention inside column, not directly inside, I mean, there will be a children's property. Anything in this children's list will be stacked on top of each other. Okay, so let me just say I want some kind of padding. So what is padding? So padding basically we have made a box, right? But we don't want our content to go from edge to edge of the boxes. We want some space around inside the edge, some space from the edges, so that the content is not at the absolute edges of the screen. So we give some padding, we give some space inside the box where the content or the other widgets would be. So I'll just mention padding. You can write constant padding. If you don't mention constant, it won't give you errors. But just add constant because this is not going to change. So padding, something called edge insets. So edge insets all.
Means you are finding the edges or you are using the chapter.
Yeah. What I'm doing in padding is there is a box, but I don't want my text. Suppose text, I want to put text in. I don't want to start from absolute left top corner to right bottom corner. I want some space from the edges. So I'm giving some padding, some free space around the edges inside the box. Okay. So not edge insets all. I need edge insets only. So edge insets only, I'll give some padding to the bottom. You can do all as well, I guess. That should work. And child. Text. You can add any kind of text over here. What I'll do right now is I'll just say currently, I'll just say Mumbai because I have the URL for Mumbai, the API for Mumbai. Or you can say weather of Mumbai. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll give some style to this text. Oh, let's just run this quickly. Control S, update it and just see. So you can see that weather of Mumbai is absolutely at the top. We would change this, but it has some padding at the bottom. So don't worry, we'll add some. Array system UI isn't responding. I don't know why that is happening, but don't worry. If there is any issues, I'll restart the device. So in this case, I made a red box 1/3 of the height and complete width, and it's a container. And in that, I have written weather of Mumbai, and there is padding of 10 pixels below it. So, but I don't like this, so I want to add some style to this text. So what I'll do is I'll do comma, and on the next line I'll add some style property to the text, and the text style widget. We have used text style before. We can have color. Suppose colors, I would like it to be colors dot white. Anything else? Font size. This font is too small. I want it to be something larger. Maybe 14.0. Font weight. Let me add some boldness to the font. So font weight, not bold. I'll set it manually to W600. So let me now save and reload the file. Okay, so weather of Mumbai is basically the same size. So now it's much better. It's more larger. Okay. So that is basically our padding container. What we'll do next is after we'll add our next widget um, in this in the widget list of the column. So right below weather of Mumbai, I'll add another text widget, suppose. Okay, and in this text, let me just mention something like uh, weather is, or let me say temperature. Temperature is 28 degrees or something. And let me add some style. We will later call the APIs. So now I'm just assigning default string values. Once we set up the APIs later, now what I'm doing is building the UI part so that at least the app is UI part is done. The looks of the app are done. Then we'll add the technical part and the utility. So const, another constant text style, because this is not going to change with time. So I just mention this widget as a constant colors, so white color. So I want some font size. Font size 40. Let's make it large. And uh, font weight W600.
And style can be managed like Arial or something.
Yeah, you can have 1 second. Huh? So font family, or I think font style, you can put like font style. I'm not sure like how I'll do Arial right now. I need to check. But if you know, then you can do that change. I'll I'll put it on WhatsApp later how to change the font. But currently I'll just keep it right. I have forgotten how to change the font style. I thought it was font family we use. I think it is font family only, but I'm not sure.
Is there, it's not-
It is font family. Yeah, but
So
I've,
again, need to like edit the workspace.
yeah. So let's leave that for now. I am also not sure. If I'll update you later about how to do it. But right now I've written this much and just update the app and see. So temperature 28 is coming below. It's like really huge, but you can probably like edit it down. And this padding, um, you can do edge insets all also, and instead of bottom, right, directly do 10. And what we'll do is basically bring the weather of Mumbai, like will it will add padding on all sides and it will look much better. So, and yeah, it's just for looks I'm doing this. So if you guys are done till here, raise your hands. If you're not done, I would share the code snippets on WhatsApp so you can copy paste. Okay, raise your hands if you're complete. So on is done.
Log me please share on WhatsApp.
Yeah, I'll share it to you. So I'll share the whole container. I'm sharing the container widget, which is inside this widget. Um, yeah, basically this whole list. And let me just share it on WhatsApp quickly. So I've shared you the code, and now I'll just continue. So that was our text. Uh, yeah, I think that is the text part. We'll add some more widgets. So like just to not confuse you, all these widgets in the column list, this children, I forgot something there. Um, yeah, I forgot to write widget. Even if you don't write this widget, it won't give you any issues. But it's good to write widget, okay, in that list part. So now we'll just put another padding widget in the list, and padding will have some padding inside. It will be constant in our case, edge insets. So edge insets won't be top colon. So let's give it 10 pixels like spacing, and in this padding we'll add some kind of text. I want some kind of text. In this case, I'm not sure, but okay. So maybe let's just keep it temperature above and give the temperature number below like this. So it will look better, just to look better. Yeah. And just style this text inside the text part to write a comma after this, and style property um, constant text style widget. I'll add all the things colors dot white, font size, let's keep it 20.0, font weight, font weight W600. Okay. Let me update the app. Let's check. 28 is now here below. It's basically what I want to show in the top part. So, well, I guess that is it, but you can see, guys, that this is at the top. I don't want this at the top. I want it to be centered. Okay. So what I'll do is in columns, I'll do main axis alignment, center. Okay. And another thing I'll do, cross axis alignment, uh, over here, dot center. So now you can see what will happen is it will just center it to the center of the box, the container. So now it looks much better. It looks much more clean. I think the font, we can do something with the font size or font style, font family, but let's leave it for now. At least it's showing what it should. And let's go. So basically, let's go to the column. Okay. So where is the column? It is here. So this widget, uh, the column, main axis alignment. No, we need to go out of the container. After the container, in this body column, okay, it's right after the container. We'll give the rest of the info. Okay, so just reach to this part, and we'll write another widget called expanded. It's called expanded. This is also a layout type of widget. I just want to just give it some indentation. So child, no, I don't. So child would be padding. I think expanded means it will cover all the area given from edge to edge, all the area available, I guess. You can refer to the docs, the slide I've shared it. Expanded is given a link to expanded, but it is like a layout widget, like a container, which occupies all area it's given. So padding, we'll give some padding because we don't want all the area, and padding has padding property, which has edge insets widget. Um, you just do edge insets all because I don't want it to touch the top or the sides. Um, Inside this padding, we want child, and we will add a list view widget. So this is a new widget. It will just create a type of list, which a list which has items from top to bottom. Uh, so it's it you can use column as well, but list view has some other properties which look better. So that's the main difference. So list view is like a column widget. It has this children's array, and sometimes I forget to add widget. If you don't add widget, it won't give you errors, but we would only put widgets in that list. Okay. So what will it have? It will have list style widgets. So the list view widgets will have many list style widgets. Let me just complete one, and we'll just copy that list style widget 4 times um, for what we need. So leading fonts. So here's something that Dartpad people won't be able to do is the font awesome icon. So those who have imported font awesome, just do FA icon, font awesome icons dot per meter half. So if you are on Dartpad, you can just skip this leading part. Okay, just don't write leading property. I don't think it would give an error. If it gives an error, tell me. Those who are on Android Studio, just follow normally. So there is this title, text. Suppose this will show the temperature and a trailing. Another text which shows the value of temperature. Let's just put 28 for now because I have not called the API. What I want you guys to do, copy the list style with the comma at the end and just paste it so that there are 4 list styles in the list view widget. Okay. The only thing we will that people who are using Dartpad need to do is ignore this leading. Don't write leading. You don't need leading. Other people, and after that, write instead of temperature, mention humidity or something, or weather or something. Let me put weather over. Weather, humidity, wind speed. And for now, just let it be 28. and we'll see the app. So this is the list view. So what is leading? Leading is basically this icon on the left, and what is trailing? Trailing is basically this icon on the right. So this is what list view is doing. If I would have used column, it would have just mentioned temperature from top to bottom without this perfect inline leading and trailing stuff. So just making everything inline would be difficult, but not impossible. It's just aesthetically, for a aesthetic purpose, I'm using list style. And there are,
The space.
huh?
How do you manage the space? It is automatic or you have done something?
Space.
Like temperature, whether
It is automatic. It is automatic. You don't mention anything. So as you can see, I've written only this much code. I have not given padding. The only thing I've given padding is to the whole list view. The whole list view is everything, all the 4 list tiles. Okay, so there are more font awesome icons that uh, I'll mention here. Suppose cloud. There's something called cloud. If you don't have any font, or if you're doing on Dartpad, instead of font awesome icons, you can just put text widget in the leading and give some text. Suppose T for temperature, W for weather. Other people you can give icons. So sun for humidity. Maybe what is there? Some wind icon, I guess. Yeah, wind icon. Now it should be. So now you can see we have got all these emojis or icons, right? So good news is our UI part is done. It's already 1.5 hours, so only a small utility part is left, guys. So those people who have done coding, raise your hands. Those people who need the code, tell me right now. UI is done. I'll give you the code. I'll share it with you on WhatsApp.
I have used I have put your code on document, but as you know that there are some differences, so it is not working.
So okay, guys, you can write the code. So there are some differences, right? I have written the code myself. Let me try it on Dartpad, like you mentioned. So I know that there would be unsupported imports like font awesome. So I have to remove font awesome. And oh, so I think it's working without font awesome, and I think font awesome is by default included. Oh, so there is error in compiling to JavaScript. Let me try it again. Um, yeah. I haven't tested it on Dartpad, so I'm really sorry that it's not working. There is an error. Font awesome. Okay. Font awesome is missing. No problem. Let me just remove this font awesome and give some text. Give some text like let's just give it numbers. Okay. Let's just give it numbers. Simply numbers. That is the error. Let me just try to resolve it quickly. This is number 2. This is number 3. Hopefully this at least removes the font awesome errors. This is number 4. Oh, it didn't show any error this time. Wow, so it's working on Dartpad. So I'll just share this code with you. Only issue on Dartpad is Font Awesome is not working. So guys, I've shared a code on WhatsApp. So yes, just copy that. It works. I verified it.
Yeah, I see.
Only difference is these icons are not there. Rest it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. Oh, so it's 3, 3, 4. I messed up. I just numbering 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just make it 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the order is correct. Rest of you guys, if you want the code, I'll share it on WhatsApp again. I should. I've shared the code in the latest message. I'll just go on to the utility part now. So I think most people were already done. Now guys, come up, okay? Come up to this future get weather part, okay? Come up to this block. Now I had written this already, and this future get weather is from the slide I showed you guys, in which I told you now how we call APIs in Flutter. I mentioned a slide. Future get something async, get data async, and in that there will be some HTTP response thing, and then some JSON convert thing, and then set state function. So that is what we are going to code right now. So get ready. Now we'll add the logic to the program. So first thing we need to do is write HTTP dot response, and this is basically the data type of the HTTP response we are going to get, and that will be a JSON format. So you can give any name to the variable. I just call it response. Okay, I just call it response for now, and await. We have to wait for the API to give the response. So we'll write await, and oh no curly brackets. Okay, no curly brackets after await. Await HTTP dot get request. There are requests in I guess request is something complicated. There are many types of requests. Post requests, get requests are one of them. Get request is fetch all the data. So get request URI dot parse. Now um, enter the URL for the URL for the API link, which was giving you the dictionaries of all the data, right? Copy that. If you have stored it, just copy it and just paste it in those curly brackets. Okay. So after pasting that, okay, I made a mistake. Don't write comma, write semicolon in this HTTPS response part. Don't write comma. It's not a widget. It's just a variable data type. And I think I need to open the meet. So here is the meet. Let me minimize it. Okay. So guys, are you up to date? Just raise your hands. Have you written this? Others is up to date.
Can you repeat for me? We have to write HTTPS and then
Yeah. So you can just go up right after all those imports. You can see this future get weather function, right? In that, I have written a comment get HTTP response. Under that, write this HTTP response thing, and HTTP response get URI pass. I'll just share it with you guys quickly. Here only in the chats. This URI dot pass. Inside those double quotes, make sure to put the URL that you use to get the data from the API, right? In my case, I've mentioned mine with my API key and of Mumbai ID. Okay. Oh, Goa. I mentioned Goa. Let me make it Mumbai because I've written Mumbai in title. So, but you can give any city you live in. That is not an issue. If you're done, raise your hands. If you need any help, tell me. Put it in the chats. We'll have to wrap up in 15 minutes. It would be done. Okay, the app would be ready, working. So just tell me if you have any issues. How many people have raised hands? Oh, 3 people are ready. I didn't see that. Let's just continue. So we got the HTTP response. Now we'll decode the JSON. How do we do that? Basically, we need to store the result. We'll make a results variable. Results maybe yes, and we'll do convert JSON convert. JSON convert is a function. If you remember, we imported this dart convert library that has this JSON convert function. Inside that, we just pass the response variable. So not the response variable, response.body, the body of the response. Maybe the response has a lot of stuff. Oh, sorry, not JSON convert, JSON decode. My bad. Just paste this in the chat box quickly. Pasted it. Now we have done that part. Under the third comment, we need to do the mention the set state function. Set state function will update all these variables. You can see this API data variables I created in the template. Now we have to update them. Now we have to make changes to them. After we get the responses, after we change the JSON file to a dictionary, we just change the data in the variables. So this will just refer to the variable outside the set state function. So just do this dot temp equals results. Now results is, remember, results is a dictionary. How does it look? It looks like this. It has all this data. So we want specific values from this data. Like we want temperature. Where is temperature? You can see the body. We took the body, right? So here you can see. I think this is the main. Main, there is no, not here. Not here. You can see main here. Inside main, there is this list which has temperature here. We'll access this.
Yes, Bhai.
So we do double quotes main, and you do access the temperature right here, and it will give us the temperature, which is 299.80 Kelvin. It is Kelvin. We will do minus 270 later. Okay, don't worry about that. So what is this? Description, results. So we want in weather. There is a description, cloudy, clouds or something. No, broken clouds. We want this. So in weather, we write weather first. Weather inside weather there is a list. Okay. So there is a list, there's a, you can see the square brackets. That is for that square brackets, uh, I have putting index 0 because there is only one list in that square brackets. So there is not much option. There is only one element. So that one element is at index 0. That's why I'm mentioning 0. Then I'll put description. And we got the broken clouds from this. You can see here, we'll get broken clouds data from that. This is for Goa, but in case of Mumbai, it would be different. But it would be the same description. It would be a description only. So currently, maybe I want the current weather, something like that. So in weather main. So currently it is clouds. So let's just put results, weather, put 0 inside and put main. Okay. We got the clouds from this. And we need the humidity data. In Goa, it is really humid on campus. So good to have some kind of humidity data. Even in Mumbai, it is probably humid, I guess. Humidity. So if you see in this main, there is some kind of humidity. Here you go. In humidity is 82 in Goa, but in Mumbai it would be something different. So and wind speed. We need wind speed results. You can, if you're interested in any other data, feel free to define a variable and just mention it and take it. Just like how I am taking data from here. So they have given the longitude, latitude, and other stuff. If you are interested in pressure or maximum, minimum temperature, other stuff, you you just extract it like this from the like a dictionary. So in wind, there is some kind of speed. Oh, results. Okay. So I'm done over here. Good news is we are done with set state as well. So I'll just copy this. The Google Meet set state is done, and we have not actually implemented these variables in the code. So you will see only default stuff right now. So just I shared the code with you, the code block of set state. I'll give you a look of all the things we mentioned in future get weather. So under the first comment, there was this HTTP response. Then under the decode, we did JSON decode, converted the JSON file to a type of dictionary, and we stored it in this results variable. Then we opened the set state function to update all the variables. We did API variables I defined over here in API data variables. Okay. So why set state? Because this is a stateful widget. And if we want to update state, we have to do it inside set state. That's how Flutter is. If you don't mention it set state, it won't update until the next hot reload happens. And it doesn't happen usually. So now guys, it's time to actually put the values. So here you can see there was weather of Mumbai. Then we mentioned temperature, and then we mentioned 28. We don't want 28 anymore. We'll add something else. we'll we'll add a ternary statement. Just copy what I do. I'll explain it later. So if currently is not equal to null, question mark, give me the this dot temp, right? Or okay, currently dot toString. Okay, so currently it is cloudy. Currently has the data cloudy, I guess. So I want to convert it into a string just in case, because I'm putting it in a text widget, right? Else loading. So if you don't know what is a ternary statement, I'll just put this in a small brackets. Okay. So if this condition currently is not null, then the code after the question mark and before the colon will be executed. If it is null, if this condition is false, it will execute the code after the colon. So if currently has some data other than null, it will show that. So it had cloudy. So it will mention cloudy. Else, if it's null, it will say it's loading right now. So that's what I'll do. So what I'll do quickly, I'll just copy this whole statement. Okay. I'll do the same thing below as well. So below in the list view. So let me quickly show you what is going to happen. Yeah, you can see it's showing loading right now, right? I've updated the app. It's loading because probably null right now. In some time it should update. Once it gets the request from, and I need to tell you that the request comes every minute. Sometimes you have to wait a minute for the data to arrive. Once it arrives, it's all good. Inside this other trailing part, I'll put temperature, not currently. Let me just put temperature. Temperature. Oh no, it's just temp, right? Temperature is not null. Temperature dot toString. It's loading. Same I'll do for this. This is weather, right? Weather is description. Broken clouds, I guess. Description dot toString. Humidity. 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 Wind speed. Currently, everything is loading. Let me just do a hot reload quickly. See if any data is being shown right now. Yeah, you can see. Now you can see after I do hot reload, it's showing haze, 301.14, weather haze, humidity 83.
How you do hot reload?
I'll tell you how to do hot reload. This is, if you open this run, there is this option for run. Then there is this green thing for Flutter hot restart or hot reload. When you do that, all the data in will be updated. Okay, all the data variables will be updated. So we had fetched all the data from the API, right? So now it will show this. So it's basically complete, but 301 Kelvin temperature, let me just change it, right? We usually, no temperature is in degrees Celsius. Um, and above also, let me just add a temperature section. Where is it? Here. Okay. So temperature, let me add plus or something. Control V. Temp, temp. Maybe like, yeah, just let this be like, let me remove temperature and just directly put this to string as, you know what, let me show you what happens if I just do to string temp minus 273.
10 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so we have some error. Such method double has no instant method to string. So double does not have to string. So what happens is I made a mistake. Instead of, we don't have parameters in toString. We just have 273. 1 second. Yeah, over here. Now you can see we are getting all this decimal place. So that's why we do toString as precision also. Precision beyond beyond. So it will give me 3 digits. Okay. So wherever you have temperature, just write that.
Yeah, if you write to 73.16, then will it be error or because you said you have decided to
You want me to, yeah, what I did earlier, that error was because I mentioned it in this round brackets. ToString does not have any parameter, right? In this, you have to update the data is here. Temp.
I'm saying it 273.16.
Why,
Now, if you write temperature, yes.
why run it right now? It is giving me this long string. Now what was your doubt?
Yeah, just only doubt is means can we round off it to the end figure because we know that 273.16 the two significant figures are there after decimal.
So you want me to round it off to, well, there is something for rounding off, but what I did, what I think I can do is as precision, because I know that the temperature would not exceed 2 digits before the decimal point. I can just write as precision 4, and it will just give me rounded off to last 2 DP. It was 97 something, right? 97.9 something. So it became 27.9. Usually we only keep it to 3 DP. And I just remove this 16. Maybe it is 273.16. You can keep it if you want. There is no issue in that. 273. So the app is basically done. We are just making minor changes. Tell me if you have any issues. So now the temperature is fine, weather all. So app is done, guys. We can do some more things like what is this basically? This is container. So this is expanded. Maybe this also has also cross-axis alignment. There's no cross-axis alignment in expanded. Okay, so what if I just make it a container? I don't want expanded. I want a container and I want cross. What was it before? Oh, okay. So I was just adding it directly. In a in column we do main this stuff. So what I'll quickly do is I'll go here, wrap with a column or something, add some cross axis alignment center, main axis alignment. But it's gone. I thought it would be there. Should be there. So there are errors. So there are too many errors. Let me just, yeah, I should not do this. This is better. Okay guys, I guess this is the app. If you want the code, I'll just share you the GitHub. So I had uploaded all the code on GitHub for the app already. Here it is. If you have any other doubts, if you have any questions, mention it right now. App is done. Like if you were not able to complete, tell me why. If it's not running on Dartpad, tell me right now. But I think it should run on Dartpad. If not, session is over. Thank you for attending. I'll just end the recording.
I can ask just one general question.
Yes.